everybody, I'm Quill. I'm going to be talking about alcohol-based markers. These are not all of mine, but I have not as big as a collection as most people do. These are my chameleon markers. Basically, alcohol-based markers are basically what it states in the title. They're markers, but instead of water-based, like Crayola, and other markers like that, these markers have alcohol in them, which makes it so they won't bleed and rip well, they do bleed, but they won't rip the paper if you layer it. And you can layer them and make cool art, like this little badge that I'm going to be wearing to VidCon. Oh yeah, I'm going to VidCon and stuff. Also these. So those are the kinds of things. Also, you can, with different types of markers, you can do certain things with them. Like with these chameleon markers, you can, with these chameleon markers that I have right here, they're pretty long. It's like a pretty thick tube. They have a brush end, and then they also have a bullet nib, which is, so if you look at the marker, most of the time alcohol-based markers have two separate ends. It depends on whether it has a brush tip or a bullet nib. It is, with alcohol markers that have a brush nib, it's going to be more expensive. Also, the thing with alcohol-based markers is that they are expensive, which is why I got some as a gift. You usually have to save up. There are many brands, but the main brand you hear of and think of when you hear the word alcohol-based markers is Copics. They are like the extreme, they're like the best of the best markers. But those are really expensive. It's like, at Michael's, it's like $8 or $9 per marker, for one marker. So the packs of them easily go into the hundreds and get really expensive really fast. So that's why I have these brand ones, chameleon markers. I don't know how, all of my markers that I've gotten, my alcohol-based markers, except for one singular one, was given to me as gifts. So these chameleon markers and these were all given to me as gifts. And if you're wondering where the rest of these are little, for the chameleon markers, you can also get little things. With the chameleon markers, you basically, they have the color, stick them on, and into one of the other markers, and they make a beautiful gradient with them. That's the whole thing with chameleon markers. They make gradients, and that's why everyone basically loves them. I have heard very few bad things about these markers, except for maybe the thing's too big, and the cap doesn't fit on the other end. But hey, that's with a lot of alcohol-based markers. The main ones I use are these Touch 5 markers. They come in a black barrel and stuff, and they're really neat, and I got them as a gift as well. But they do not come with a brush nib, at least the ones I got. So this one has a bullet nib, as you can see. The ones I have, they have a bullet nib and a chisel nib, this is a chisel nib, which are like the ones you find on Crayola and stuff. So I have those, and then I have one singular marker that's very, very similar to Copics. It's an Artist Loft alcohol-based marker, and it has a brush nib, and it has a chisel nib, no bullet nib. So if I want to get little small details, I usually use this chisel nib. So alcohol-based markers are very, in the art community, they're like a coveted thing, and most people think like, oh, I have to get them, I have to get alcohol-based markers. Thing is, no, you don't. They're expensive, and if you really want to get into using markers, get cheap ones first. I used to have these master markers. Now, they were really good, but they ran out really fast. But it gave me some time to kind of get used to using markers before they all dried out. I was going to refill them, but then I realized I want to wait and get better ones that don't run out as fast. And I didn't even use them that much. But, so start out with really cheap ones. Master markers are easiest, pretty cheap. In a pack that I got. It's like the cheapest pack I've ever found for a thing. Of course, if you're buying this single marker Artist Loft, they're like $3 at Michael's. And these are really good. This one's like it's like my favorite marker. Anyways, with alcoholic markers, when you get them, the first thing you want to do is swatch them. Don't do what I did and wait till like most of my markers are dried out and it's always the ones that I never use. Weird. But always swatch your things. Right here, you can't see it, but I have a little paper pinned to my wall. Like as you can see over here, I have stuff pinned to my wall. Like that, I have one thing pinned over here. Planning on adding more. And it's a little thing of all of my markers and swatches, and there's also always room for more markers when I get more. Another thing with alcohol-based markers, find pens that don't make your markers bleed if you're gonna do line art with that's not pencil. I have this Singular Micron, and it's a 0.1. And this is what I use sort of the pen. But I also have a marker. I also have this regular pen that I like to use. This is the pen I like to use. I like to do my coloring first and then do the line art. That's just my way of doing it. That's another way to do it if you don't have any pen that doesn't bleed through. But it's really good, and I can get thicker lines with it. So I use that with a combination of the Micron. Also, a thing with alcohol-based markers is that sometimes they come with pens you can use. My Touch 5 markers came with a little line art pen along with a white gel pen, but those ran out really fast. So keep in mind that sometimes they come with pens specifically for those markers, but most of the time they don't. I was just lucky with the ones that I got, I got 2 pens with it. But that being said, thank you for watching today, and let me show you my marker collection real quick. Here are my, as you've seen many times, this is my Chameleon markers collections. It's very small at the moment. And here are my Touch 5 markers. As you can see, I have them all lined up. I've stuck cardboard in an empty thing from somewhere. But I really like these. There's a lot of them that I've thrown away. I know, like, most people will say, don't throw away your markers when you can get them refilled, but I throw away the ones I don't need. And it's always the ones that I don't, like, use, so, hey, why not? But here are my Touch 5 markers along with my Artist Loft markers, and then here is my swatches. I also have other things like my random markers in this cup right here, along with my highlighters. But these are all of my Touch 5 markers, my Chameleon markers. As you can see, that's kind of a thing that those Chameleon markers do. But yeah, anyways, for this video, I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.